That it
No,
came
it's
up
not
on the
me.
right-hand side?
No, it's
Weird.
Marlene.
Yeah,
Marlene, you're the first person that's ever mentioned that, so I'm
it
afraid.
just, I don't know if I hit the wrong button. I don't know what I did, but I can't get rid of it now.
Huh.
Um,
Can you grab it at the top and move it to the left-hand side of your screen? You know,
let me try
sometimes
that.
you can drag and
Um,
grab and drag.
no,
Oh,
Avon calling.
I just have to, now just look at it
Anybody's
this way.
old enough to remember Avon, ladies?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember
You know,
that.
Judson, your name is spelled wrong. Did you do that intentionally?
Is my name spelled wrong?
Yes, it is.
Got
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll fix it.
Audson.
Judsoken. He's now Japanese.
All right, here we go.
Don't call me late for dinner.
You can see.
All right, Judd, are we ready?
We are ready.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. It's wonderful to see you today on this lovely August afternoon, at least in Virginia. It's nice and it's a little bit cooler, so we're enjoying some swim time at the pools and picnicking. So I'm hoping you're enjoying your summer as well. I wanted to introduce myself to those of you who are new to the group this month. My name is Pat Gualtieri, and I am the president of the Peripheral Neuropathy Support Network and our sister group, the Bethesda Chevy Chase support group in Maryland. Today, usually we have the honor of Bill Porter being our moderator, and he's great at leading our meetings, but he could not join us today, so I will be moderating the meeting. I'd like to welcome everyone again and ask Judd to please pull up the agenda so we can review it quickly.
Pat, remind everybody to mute their audio, please. I'm hearing a lot of fuzz.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. We're going to go to housekeeping rules in a minute, but in the meantime, please, as Rebecca pointed out, if you will mute yourselves, and that will make the background noise a little more bearable. And we will ask you then, of course, to unmute when you're recognized to speak. The agenda today is a format is the open discussion, meaning we are here to share concerns, issues, questions, revelations, whatever that you feel is important to discuss or would like to hear discussed by the group. We're going to spend a few minutes on what I'm calling the victory lap for Gregory Maassen. Dr. Gregory Maassen, as you probably know or have heard, has been on a second e-bike journey across the country, and we'll be talking to raise awareness for PN, and we'll be talking about him in just a minute. Website, Judson is going to show us a part of the website that we call the footnotes or the carousel, and he will show you how you can find recent webinars and articles that you might want to peruse. We try to keep aware of what's happening in the bigger PN community, and so he will be showing you how to access that. Then we'll take a few minutes at 2:15-ish and introduce any new attendees, welcome them, and ask them to explain how they heard about us, their particular PN journey, and how long they've had it and where they've located. We'll move to open discussion, and we will start with the new attendees so they have the time at the beginning to ask their questions. At 3 o'clock, we like to take our break for 5 minutes to stretch, get water, hydrate, and move around. Then we'll return at 3:05 for open discussion. And about 10 minutes before our official closing time, I will give a few closing remarks, again, reviewing upcoming webinars and things that you need to know about as far as scheduling. At 4 o'clock, the official end of the meeting, and we go into overtime. The difference is overtime is not recorded. It's a more social interaction where you can continue conversations with someone that you had started, perhaps didn't get enough time to answer their questions or whatever. So overtime lasts from 4 to about 4:30. If you could move then to the next housekeeping, Bill Porter always calls these his housekeeping rules, so we will go over them just quickly. please mute and unmute yourself. We've heard already that it's better background. Thank you. Please raise your hand physically or use the reaction figure. What that means is at the bottom of your screen, you should see a heart shape that says react, and you can raise and lower your hands there. Again, we're asking people to please use the chat feature if you have additional information you'd like to share or a question that you would like to see addressed in the next bit of time. Closed captioning is available if you go to the bottom of your laptop screen. The circle with the 3 dots, the ellipse, says more. And if you click on that, it will allow you to add closed captioning. I find it very valuable as a hearing disabled person to have the captioning on to be able to read as well as follow by hearing. And again, we ask that you be mindful of your length of your conversation, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, so that we have enough time for everyone who has concerns or questions to share. And most importantly, what works for you may not work for others. I have a recommendation on a product that I'm going to talk about, but that doesn't mean it's going to work for you. It's simply an idea to investigate further and maybe hear from others who have tried it. Mostly, we are not doctors. We are asking that we are not part of a medical team. We're not physical therapists. What we are doing here is sharing personal lived experience of what has worked or hasn't. And you should always check with your personal physician or pharmacist before adopting our recommendations. Okay, that's the official housekeeping rules. Now we can move on to the welcoming of our new attendees. And if there's anyone new today, would you like to raise your hand and introduce yourself? Mike S.
Yep. Hi. Let's see. What was the information you were asking for? How
Where
long
you're-
I've had?
Where you're located, what you
Okay.
would like to share about your personal PN journey,
Okay.
and how you heard about the support group.
Okay. Well, I heard about it from my wife. She actually was online, and I've been working in Glenn's group with Western, what's it called? With the WNA?
Yeah, Western Neuropathy Association.
Yes. And so this is new for me. I'm excited about joining today's meeting. I'm in Tucson, Arizona. And about 4.5 months ago, I had little numb spots at the back of my heels on both feet. Didn't notice them for many months. Didn't pay much attention to it. I mentioned to my doctor. He mentioned potential peripheral neuropathy. And then gradually over the last 4.5 months, it's progressed into my feet pretty much fully involved in numbness and tingling. My legs, my right leg is getting quite a bit more weaker than my left at this point. Starting to get it in my fingers too. So my first neurology appointment with a real with the resident is going to be in 3 weeks. So I'm excited about that. But what's a little bit what's really uncomfortable about it at this point is just the rate at which it's moving.
Excellent. Thank you for that sharing. Where are you located, Mike?
In Tucson, Arizona.
Okay, excellent. And you have not officially been diagnosed. You're waiting for your neurologist appointment. Is that correct?
My general practitioner diagnosed it as idiopathic peripheral neuropathy, but nothing more. It was really just a nerve conduction and EMG test that one neurologist used to diagnose it. And that's all I've had done to date.
Okay, excellent. We'll be back with you to ask questions and concerns. Is there another person who is new today? Please raise your hand. Jane, your hand is raised. Can you unmute?
You have to unmute Jane. Okay, Melissa has her hand up.
Okay, while we wait for Jane, let's go ahead and move to Melissa. And if you will unmute, please, Melissa, and introduce yourself.
Uh,
Here she is.
There she is.
I can't unmute.
You
You
are
have unmuted.
Oh,
You're,
I'm
you're
unmuted.
golden.
You
You're
are
good.
unmuted.
Oh, that's awesome.
We can hear you.
I got my name is Melissa Siegel. I'm from Round Lake, New York. the diagnosis of peripheral neuropathy was received by me via portal message through my rheumatologist's nurse, because the rheumatologist suggested I see a neurologist for my pain. And when I started calling around to neurologists, they asked me what my diagnosis was. So I'm at odds with my neurologist. I'm unhappy with all of my medical providers right now. I'm not even sure I have neuropathy because what I'm feeling is pain. I don't have numbness. I don't have tingling. I have pain. To me, those are different things, but
It's all different, Melissa.
right,
Unfortunately,
We all
apparently,
have
but
different.
nobody wants to, my neurologist, I have an appointment in a few days, but originally she was my neurologist because they thought I had multiple sclerosis and they decided I don't have that. And but receiving a diagnosis on a portal through a nurse to me is outrageous. But I'm having a lot of trouble getting with a rheumatologist that I'm lost. I'm just lost in this world. All I know is I'm in a lot of pain and I'm only 67 years old and I'm very unhappy about it.
okay,
I'm sorry.
that's okay. This is part of sharing. It does obviously bring up emotions, and we're all
This is my
struggling. So, Melissa, feel welcomed, and we will get some response from the members in a few minutes, but we're going to first go on and say, um, keep the faith, keep going, keep trying. You have some beginnings there, and I think other people may have some suggestions for you. So please stay on with us, and we'll get back to you in a few minutes.
I will try.
You,
Thank you.
yes, Jane, Melissa. Jane, are you available, and can you unmute? Maybe not. I thought she had.
I think Jane left us.
Yeah, I think we lost her.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a shame. Well, Linda,
Linda Beasley has her hand up. You have to unmute Linda.
On mute.
You're
Okay, can you
unmuted.
hear me now?
Yeah.
yes.
Hi, my name is Linda Beasley. I'm from Columbia, Maryland. I found out about this when I was just strolling through, the computer Google to see if I could find a group to talk about with the neuropathy. About a year and a half ago, I had uh, a stroke in my spine,
Hmm.
and I'm paralyzed from the waist down. And I was told it was transverse myelitis, and I have severe neuropathy pain in my legs. And I thought that folks that were paralyzed didn't feel anything, but no. I
Oh,
have the severe burning and tingling. Right now, I'm doing a vitamin B regimen with the B1, B12, B6.
mm-hmm.
It helped. I've severely changed my diet. I am already diabetic. I
Wow.
mean, the issues are piling up, but just looking for other people's input and what they're going through and what helps them, and that's why I'm visiting a group today, just to listen, see what's going on.
Well, I love your attitude, and I'm so pleased that you found us and have joined us. And both you and Melissa and Mike, I hope you will get some answers today, or at least some things to follow up on, some suggestions, some ideas. Is there anyone else who would like
Pat,
to? Yeah.
Jane came back on.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Still wants to ask questions.
Jane,
I,
if you're,
can you hear me?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, I can't see you, but okay.
Yeah.
But I'm here. Somehow I can't find your face. There I am. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and I was diagnosed by some neurologists, several neurologists last November, and it has become progressively painful. I have this numbing in my feet, and also in my knees, but it gets really painful at night. I tried gabapentin, it didn't help me. Now I'm involved with the scrambler therapy, which I was told probably won't work for me because I'm not diabetic and I'm not on chemo. So I'm really at my wit's end because it's become really burns at night and I'm in a lot of pain and I can barely get to sleep. And it's just following up my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's certainly understandable. I think the one thing that all of us will agree on is that PN is not a single illness. It's not a single definition, that the symptoms differ. I think Glenn will tell us how many X hundred different neuropathies there are, peripheral neuropathy manifestations there are. And when Melissa said that she was unhappy with her team, I think that that's sort of something that runs through our monthly meetings because no one has the answers. Everyone is looking for some response, some way to manage this constant chronic pain. And it is both pain and numbness and tingling. I, for example, was diagnosed in 2015. I have no pain, and I'm very grateful for that. But the numbing and tingling is obnoxious. When I see Melissa in tears, I feel for her because I know that that pain is very real. And hopefully you will come up with some ideas here that you might follow up on. We were going to stop our discussion here and go to Gregory Maassen. I almost hate to cut off people who have begun to share, but maybe we will have a little happy moment here and then we'll come back to the discussion. Judd, could you see if you could pull up the Merkin? There we go.
Yes.
No, wait just a moment, please.
Okay.
Before we watch this, a little background for those who are new. Dr. Gregory Maassen has just now completed his second e-bike cross-country journey to raise awareness and some funding for peripheral neuropathy. He has traveled alone, solo, 7,450 plus miles from Florida to California in 4 months and 3 weeks. It's an amazing accomplishment. You can follow his entire journey, or they're going to be doing a documentary that will be shared. But you can follow his journey on Instagram or at ebike. Is it ebiketour.org? Yes,
Yes.
ebiketour.org. Goodness, I can't believe I forgot that. Anyway, right now we would like to join in the celebration of his completing this journey. So if you would share that, Judd.
Okay.
Whoa! Whoa! What an amazing trip it has been cycling for the Merkin Center of Johns Hopkins. A real big shout out to all the supporters, especially Dr. Merkin for all your good work. Without your support, we would not have the center and all the other donors. It has been a thrill to be with the organization. And, yeah, I'm a bit emotional. 4 months, 3 weeks has been quite a journey, but what a pleasure it has been. Thank you so much for all your support.
Thank you. Ocean to Ocean for peripheral neuropathy. And kudos to the Johns Hopkins.
Hey guys, JD Van.
Nepopotassium, son of Pelotonolaus, was an ancient king of Pepto-Bismol.
Well, I don't know about.
Renamed the realm after Epipenemus, his wife, who was also his niece. His son, Onomatopotassium, consorted with the sea nymph Theseus Delestilus, who presented him with 3 children, Lipodipodus, Epidippolipidus, and Doris.
Let's see. There we go.
So
right.
now we know what's in Judd's Instagram feed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think she was getting ready to watch Odyssey, which I understand is very gory and very violent, and I'm not sure I'm willing to do it. But anyway, back to Gregory, which is a real amazing journey. he has completed this and will be joining us, we hope, to talk more about what he experienced in the two journeys, but the most recent one just being
Nepopotassium, son of Pelotonolaus, was an ancient king of Pepto-Bismemnon. He renamed the realm after Epipenemus, his wife, who was also his niece. His son, Onomatopotassium, consorted with the sea nymph Theseus Delestilus, who presented him with 3 children, Lipodipodus, Hippodipolipidus, and Doris.
Isn't technology fun?
The names are hysterical.
You either hate it or love it, depending on what the experience you're having at the moment. So we're going to move on. Goodness.
I think I killed it.
Thank you, Judd. Anyway, the fun part of Dr. Maassen's journey is for us is that he's a DC resident and hopes to join our Virginia DC group or the Maryland group when he returns from his travels. And we hope to have him as a speaker later in the fall or early in the new year. And I know that Glenn is also working with his team. Oh, I started to say Hopkins was wonderful at documenting this and keeping us informed on his as he went through amazing weather. I watched one where the wind was so bad it knocked over his 500-pound plus bike. I can't even imagine doing it solo. But anyway, Glenn will be hosting him at some of his Western Neuropathy Support Group meetings as well. So I hope you all have the opportunity to hear, as they say, from the horse's mouth, what the experience was like. All right, Judd, if you are ready, would you like to talk about the website for just a few minutes?
Sure. We just yeah, one second, let me pull that up. Today I just wanted to to remind you of a few things. We've got a lot of information on the website, and hang on, let me pull that up.
While he's pulling it up, I'll answer Phil Church's question. He said, was there a recent New York Times or Post article on this? And yes, in fact, there was a very well received article in the Washington Post that we are going to be putting up on the website. We had to get some permissions and such, and that's been cleared. And so we will be putting both that Instagram video clip and the Washington Post article up for everyone to read. I was impressed. They gave them 2 pictures and a huge section of one of the article features, and I was really glad to see it. And go ahead, Judd.
Okay, this is our website. It's at pnsnetwork.org. We'll put that in the chat.
It's in the chat.
It's a pretty large website. We update it occasionally, less than we'd like, but anyway, we try to keep people updated here, and that comes with both posting links from other articles around the country as well as other PN groups, and also just generally putting information up where we find it, like some research papers, but mostly things that are written in a consumer way. I wanted just to show you the homepage today. This is what you see when you come there. And if you go on down the page, you can see that we have a thing we call the footnotes carousel. And this carousel is where we post a lot of new material. For example, this is what it looks like right now. Let me kind of just give you no, that wasn't it. Give you a sort of a tour here. Maassen finished his second cross-country ride. You know, there's a great article in a Utah paper, Park Center Utah paper that gives a really great bio of Gregg and what he's done here. So it'd be interesting to look at that if you're just interested in somebody that found themselves on the floor, picked themselves up, and now has done 2 cross-country journeys. Here's a webinar on idiopathic neuropathy that was held in May. You can go there and watch it. That is from, Glenn, is that from Western
FPN.
Neuropathy?
No, that's from the foundation.
Oh yeah, from the foundation, yeah. So we're doing things like that. Here's if you're new to neuropathy, this is a great article to read called Beginner's Guide to Managing Your PN. That basically just gives you 10 or 12 hints on what you could be doing for your PN right now, aside from medications. It's mostly about lifestyle and that sort of thing. Those of us who have small fiber neuropathy, here's an article just on a very short article just on what it is and how you could quiet it a little bit.
It was written by a pharmacist, just so you know.
Yeah, for the Washington Beacon. This next story is 14 exercises you can do sitting down. We mostly are concentrating on people with less mobility, like me, who need to sit while they exercise. Here's another webinar. And this one is by Patricia Sutherland, who is a educator, and she's a doctor of philosophy, but she's an educator and researcher who writes a lot on chronic pain. And this would be a very interesting article for anybody who's concerned about that. We'll skip over that. That's sort of obsolete now. And anyway, this thing just revolves, it just goes from one to the other one. And we try to put up timely things here. And that sometimes they'll refer to the innards of our website. Other times they'll refer out to articles, medical articles, healthcare things, and sometimes to the YouTube, to the videos that we're promoting and so forth. But I really urge you to take advantage of this. It's right there on the homepage. You don't have to know anything about the website to use it. But
Judd, would you please show again how they get to it, because it's
okay.
right at the top.
Yep. Well, you mean how to get to the carousel?
Yeah. Well, show Dr. Hoax at the top, please.
Okay. So here's the top of our webpage. There's the header, and then you'll see this kind of thing in there. And just scroll right down to where the carousel is moving. And then pick out a story, and below each story, there's a read more. For example, I'm going to press the read more button. And on my laptop now, it's showing the short version of this article. And then you can get to her webinar here, which I'll probably start the video again if I click too far, so I won't. And you can, you can watch this. It's on YouTube, but it's also right here on this interface. So I urge you to take advantage of the website, because we only meet once a month, and this is a way to kind of keep up with everybody in between.
Thank you, Judd. That's very helpful. I would have to put a plug in as president. If anyone is interested in helping with keeping abreast of what's happening in the PN community, examples like this, again, we're saying we are not medical doctors. We are not even a pharmacist or a physical therapist. All that we are trying to do is keep you aware, especially of webinars that have been vetted as scientifically accurate, of things that will increase your awareness of research that's happening and such as that. And if anyone has an hour or two a week, or even less than that, an hour or two every couple of weeks, that would like to help us sort of track articles like this, it would be very helpful. And we would appreciate it. I put in the chat that the name of the URL for the website, and also if you have questions about anything that's discussed today, we're going to ask that you go to leader@dcpnsupport.org, and you can ask a question. Say, Linda Beasley had to leave early. Maybe she didn't see Glenn's suggestion in the chat. So I will contact her and say, you may have missed this. Please, you might want to ask Glenn more about it or whatever. So that's a way to communicate beyond this meeting if you have questions after today. All right. Did I hear an no? Okay. We're going to now move back. We have about 25 minutes or so for more conversation, questions, concerns, opening it back up to our Mike and Melissa and Jane if they have follow-up questions, or anyone who would like to share. I did want to say one thing about Gregg Maassen that I found really heartening. I was leading the Bethesda Chevy Chase group, and a gentleman there who regularly attends, Bill Hurley, said that he would like to share something. And I said, of course. And he said he was so motivated by Gregory Maassen's e-bike ride, the fact that he took this on, he trained for it. He didn't just start, obviously. But anyway, Bill said that it inspired him to get back on the stationary bike that he hadn't ridden pretty much since he had been diagnosed. And he said he has now ridden 750 miles at the gym on the stationary bike. And he can now, for the first time, feel his feet again. And he has 100% no back pain. And he was just so proud and so happy that he could share this news. And I found it really motivating. It made me say, oh, your half hour a day isn't enough, Pat. Get out there and move more. And Bill Porter, if he was here, would be saying, rest is rush, motion is lotion, keep moving. If anything else that we've learned from this awful disease is that it can be at least mitigated and helped somewhat, at least, by movement and exercise. Mike, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I just put something in the chat. It's a link to a episode about hidden brain. I don't know how many people have seen that or listened to that podcast. It's on the National Public Radio. It's a podcast about various things having to do with emotions and all aspects of psychology. And the link that I put in is a very interesting presentation by a researcher on handling chronic pain. I'm frequently on a soapbox about what is pain and where does it come from. And those of you who've been at this meeting before probably have heard me. You may have chosen not to listen, but you probably have heard me. The point that I have made many times is that pain is something your brain creates in order to warn you that there's something dangerous. When it's chronic, that typically means that there's nothing you can do to physically to stop whatever it is. That is, it's chronic, that is, nothing that can be done. And what you would really want to do is figure out a way to stop listening to these signals. And that's essentially what this article discusses. And what's significant to me about that is that it's someone other than me trying to make that point. So there were several people who talked here a little earlier about how they're feeling this great pain, and there's nobody telling them how to get rid of it. And of course, the point is that there isn't any way to there may be no way to actually change the the things that your brain is detecting in your body, but nevertheless, there may be ways to just stop listening and make the pain become, maybe not go away, but get to the point where you can tolerate it. So I just wanted to recommend that thing. I don't. Was there any more discussion about that, Pat?
Thank you, Mike. I wanted to point out that Judd and I have been working diligently to update the website, and we will be putting up things that have recently happened, like the Washington Post article. But equally important, we have on the list, and it's rising to the top, this NPR broadcast, The Hidden Brain, and connecting it to an essay on chronic pain that Mike wrote a while back. People like Melissa, who was saying about how much pain she was in, would possibly take away a lot of information, both by watching the podcast, it's a recording, and or reading the essay. And we hope to get that up in the next week or two. But in the meantime, Mike has put it in the chat. And I always say, if you're listening and you see something in the chat that you want to follow up on later, go ahead and click on the link. It'll take you out of the Zoom meeting for a minute, but you can come back into the Zoom meeting. And then when we're finished, you'll have that link already open on your computer, or and you can follow up. Or you can take a picture, if you have a phone, of the chat. And we always try to save it and put it on the website. Zoom does not make that easy. And we'll show you that at the end. But we're going to now move on because I'm talking to... Yes,
Jane has her hand up again, and also somebody named James in the messages says he doesn't know how to raise his hand, but he's got a question.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
And also Brent has had her hand up a number of times, just trying to figure it out too. So.
All right. So we will go to Jane first.
Yes. Okay. I'm not a big techie, so I'm different. I'm finding this a challenge, but there must be some articles on marijuana on your website, but they have all these marijuana stores nearby, but I don't know, what's authentic or what is reliable. So I'm willing to try anything at this point because it's so darn painful. So, would you give me some suggestions in that vein? Or maybe even hypnosis. I don't know what avenue to take because it's just so uncomfortable.
We certainly understand. It's ironic. We have just had a panel discussion on the use of cannabis in managing PN, and that is on the website. If you go to pnsnetwork.org, it's about a quarter of the way down the homepage, and click on the recording of that. You may find that very useful. It was very interesting because we had a lot of perspectives on people who used it and found it helpful, others who found it a waste of money. And so you might want to look at that. And Glenn, would you like to talk about your webinar and how she would find that?
Yeah, I mean, we've done webinars on a lot of topics over the years, including one a while back on the use of cannabis, as well as a lot of other alternative treatments, among them nanobubbles and a few other things. All you really have to do is go to the WNA website, which is pnhelp.org, very, very easy. And then actually go in there to our various sections where you can link to the various YouTube sites that we have. We have our own YouTube channel. So actually, if you go to YouTube and you put in Western Neuropathy Association, it's an alternative way to get there. But if you go through the website, you can get direct links to individual webinars.
Thank you. Yes. And there may even be one on hypnosis, though I'm not aware of one per se. Does anyone else have a suggestion or comment for Jane? while we're waiting, I will tell the whole group about a product that my sister, who has diabetic peripheral neuropathy, has found that has been incredibly helpful to her. It's in the chat. I put it in neurogo.com, and it is a machine basically that she uses twice a day, 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes before bed. And she has found it so helpful. She's been using it about 2 months. She said it lets her get started in the morning and lets her go to sleep at night because it is an electrical stimulator, a neuromuscular electrical stimulator. And if you go to the website, it tells you how it's different from a TENS unit and other things that you may have tried. I was a little skeptical. I wasn't sure about yet another way to, or was it snake oil? Was it snake oil? Was it real? Was it legitimate? Is it a scam? She has convinced me that I probably am going to buy one. I'm not quite sure. I'd love to hear if Glenn knows anything specifically about it. It claims to increase the blood flow to the feet and improves both circulation and stimulates nerve function. It does not claim to regrow nerves. Please realize that we are not talking about here stem cell therapy or regrowth or anything along those lines. It is simply a way that she feels when she's stimulating the nerves, it takes away the pain for a little while. They say on the website that you need to use it consistently. You don't do it on Monday and then skip till Thursday. You need to use it every day. And that is NeuroGo, NEUR.com. Right now, it is a little expensive. I think it's about $150, something like that. But they have a 90-day guarantee. If you don't get relief, you can return it. They have also replacement if anything is defective, and they offer free shipping. So I'm just telling you, there's a possibility if you were interested in looking at it for pain. And I don't think that hers really addresses numbness, but I'm not sure. Glenn, have you heard of it?
Yeah, a lot of these techniques and equipment out there are designed to help the symptoms in two different ways. One deals with the fact, like TENS units, which this is related to, that these small fiber nerves that subsume the sensations of pain and temperature are actually the slowest conducting nerves in the body. So if you can set up a counter vibration to them, it can actually overwhelm those signals for a while, or at least as long as it's on. The second aspect, which has to do with the blood flow, has to do with the fact that a lot of these devices are designed to increase nitric acid concentrations in the bloodstream. Nitric acid is a very potent vasodilator. A lot of problems with neuropathies has to do with the fact that blood flow gets restricted. And the idea is if you can vasodilate, you can open up the blood vessels, you'll carry in more oxygen and nutrients and get rid of more metabolic waste products.
That is helpful. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, for those of you who know red light therapy or anodyne, also the rebuilder, they all work on pretty much the same biochemical type of principle.
Okay. Again, that is not an endorsement. It's simply a reference to something that is working for someone I personally know. All right. Jane, did you feel that you got an answer to your question?
Somewhat. I'll have to read the article.
Yes, of course. Well, again, remember, if you want to stay longer afterwards or you want to follow up with Glenn, he usually tends the overtime. Let's move on to James, who's had his hand up. If you will unmute, James.
Uh-oh.
He's got it. Uh-oh.
He's unmuted, but we don't hear him.
You're unmuted, but you need to turn your volume up, James.
Precise. How about now?
Oh, I think that's better.
Yes? Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay, I just wanted to say hello. I have been getting your emails for a while, but I tuned in briefly to the cannabis discussion. Was that last month?
Yeah.
And then I wanted to start getting involved a little bit more. I started experiencing neuropathy. Oh, not this past January, but the January before. So about 18 months ago. It started as sciatica. I don't know, I literally had a pain in the ass, right? And eventually it kind of pain migrated down the leg till I started just kind of having pain and numbness and tingling like everybody else, only in the right foot. And I am diabetic. I do have a diagnosis of diabetes, but my primary care physician and some of the other doctors and people I've seen have said, well, usually diabetes affects both feet, so we don't think it's that. And long story made short, I eventually made my way up to Hopkins, but I didn't see the guy. I didn't see the guy. I met the neurosurgeon there. His name is oh gosh, I can't remember. He's like Peripheral Nerve Surgery Center. I can't remember his name now. Pretty well known surgeon up there. And they said, well, what we want you to do one of those prickly nerve. We want you to do one of those tests up here. We want to do it ourselves. What do you call the test again?
Nerve conduction study.
Nerve conduction study. So I live out near Dulles Airport. So I schlepped up to Baltimore a handful of times about a year ago now. And, the guys up there came, the guys doing my tests were like, two kind of new doctors, both, one was like Italy, the other was from Saudi Arabia. They both seem like kind of new guys, but I figured, hey, they're working at Hopkins. They got to be talented or whatever. And one of them looked at me and said, this is not diabetic neuropathy. This is not diabetic neuropathy. I was like, great, that's good, because, that was at least narrowing it down. And, I didn't, but it's, and so there's eventually we're showing that it's recovering on its own. Okay. But we can't give you a time frame or anything like that. And then I checked back in with Dr. What's his name? The surgeon. And he's like, yeah, we're showing that it's in a state of recovery. You're not a good candidate for surgery. Get out of my office. And I jokingly say that because that's what all surgeons say when they realize they're not doing surgery on you. It's kind of like, thank you, goodbye. Yeah. He just said, let us know if it gets worse. But otherwise than that, just give it some time. It hasn't really, I'd say I think I've gotten just more used to it than necessarily it's gotten better. I am an attorney. I'm a patent lawyer. I work at my desk all the time. I'm still working. And it seems to get worse when I'm just sitting all day at my desk than when I'm doing anything else, right? Anything else, I kind of can ignore it. I mean, and when I first got it, just for some of the other people, I couldn't sleep, it was terribly painful. And I don't know whether it's just I've gotten used to it or whether it's actually reduced in pain somehow. I've done the whole thing. I've been taking the gabapentin for a while and then switched from gabapentin to Lyrica. But it's, it seemed like recently it was getting a little bit worse, say about 2 or 3 months ago. And so I'm seeing eye pain management doctor over at Ortho Virginia.
Yes.
You know her? Does anyone know her? Who's Sherrick, Dr. Sherrick? She's but I really see her PA mostly, who's a really sweet young lady. And she's like, yeah, well, we can try all kinds of different combinations of drugs. I am a little shocked at how no one really knows how to cure this thing, or, you kind of think, well, doctors know stuff, but, everyone's like, this PA seems to make it like I'm like, do people ever come back and say, yeah, it's really working? And she's like, yeah, they do. I don't know if I believe her, because it seems like everybody's just like, no, you just kind of learn to live with it or you try, but anyway, so she's like, well, I've been taking Cymbalta for a little while, that antidepressant supposed to have nerve, also alter indications, whatever. That's not really work. So this PAMC, like, we're going to try some different combinations of medicines to see if we can get it working. And I'm like, okay, great. But then also part of the reason I want to check in with you guys today is that she's told me they have these spinal cord implants, and it kind of works the way like what Glenn was talking about just a little bit earlier. It sort of shoots out electrical signals and hopefully of overwhelming the other signals that are coming out. And my impression is it's pretty expensive. I don't know how much it is.
Yeah.
But my PA told me, go get an MRI to first see if you're a candidate. You got to have enough room, like in your spinal cord or near your spinal cord, to put in this little device, which is apparently like size of a quarter or maybe a little bit bigger. And so I just assume none of you guys have had that because no one talks about it.
James, James, I'm going to interrupt because you opened up a lot of topics for discussion that I think people will be interested in responding to. Glenn, we'll start with you.
Yeah, and I'm going to make a suggestion, James. You haven't had an MRI done on your lower back as of yet?
I had some MRIs done to see when we thought it was sciatica, to see if there was like some bone spurs or something.
Okay.
I haven't, apparently the part of the back that where this device would go, I have not had an MRI on.
I would make a suggestion, and it has to do with the condition that I am going through right now. And the tip off is you talking about it being unilateral and it hurts worse when you're sitting. And obviously in your job, I bet you sit a lot. They should MRI your pelvis, and they should look for indications of something called deep gluteal syndrome, which mimics sciatica. What happens, some people know this as piriformis syndrome, but there are so many different structures in the butt that can compress the sciatic nerve after it exits the spine that it would be a good idea for them to look in there, because there would be a lot of steps they could take before going to surgery. There's physical therapy. There are relieving injections that can be tried. And the reason I say this is that recently I've had it bilaterally with burning foot pain, but in my case, it's pretty obvious that the pain generator started in my mid-butt and goes down. I can actually feel it happening. It's one of the things that contributes to my neuropathy. And an MRI of the pelvis indicated that there was considerable hamstring tendinosis, which is not the same as tendinitis. Tendinitis is inflammation. Tendinosis is overuse thickening. And unfortunately, those tendons are right next to the sciatic nerve. And when they overgrow, they rub against it. So I'm in the process now, although my symptoms have eased a bit. You'll notice I'm not sitting. I'm at the standing desk because sitting is a lot worse. And I am going to be involved in very, very directed physical therapy with the idea of breaking down that tendon scar tissue and getting the release on the sciatic nerves to hopefully help relieve the symptoms.
I'll see if that's something that we could do at the same time. I don't know what she's planning, what she ordered exactly. My insurance just approved it, which is good. But I'll send a message to her and ask her if that's something that we should do at the same time.
James,
they really should, because they did it with me at the same time. The usual thought when you have sciatic-like symptoms is to look at the lumbosacral spine. But unfortunately, deep gluteal syndrome with further down compression of the sciatic nerve tends to be overlooked and definitely should be on the differential diagnosis list.
Yeah. But it's like, I don't know why just a doctor should, a doctor dealing in nerves, any random neurologist should know that, right? And they don't seem to.
Not always. The person who suggested it for me is a physiatrist. Now, fortunately, it's a physiatrist I have a very good relationship with, but sometimes the physical medicine doctors are more alive to the possibility of actual physical compression in different areas.
Glenn, I knew immediately that you would be able to respond to this because I had heard your discussion about what you were doing. Ironically, James, I had to smile because I went to see Dr. Cherrick, not the female Dr. Cherrick, but her father, who also practices there. And he ended up, after working with me and having injections and such, saying, I'm sorry, but the best I can do is tell you that you need surgery. And I resisted, and I waited, oh my goodness, 3 or 4 years. and eventually ended up having the surgery, and I was so grateful. I did have a cyst. There was a reason for the pain, but so it was resolved by the surgery, and I'm very mobile at this point and very grateful. So I did find Dr. Cherrick helpful. I hope that she eventually works with you and will follow up on this idea of the pelvis MRI, as well as maybe the lumbar, the lower back, just to check out both features. All right, my friends, it seems we have about 2 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and call for the break and ask that people stand up, move, get water, hydrate, and we'll see you back in 5 minutes, at which time we will move to Brent, who had his hand up, and anyone else who would like to join in the discussion. And in the meantime, we'll look at chat questions as well. So see you at 3:05.
Pat, I have a question. Is my hand showing when I raise it?
Aaron? No.
Yes, Brent. I see your hand. I've seen you for about a half hour, I would say. But you know, a lot of people use the hand that you can raise under React.
I can't do it that way because there's something else on my computer.
So I've been trying to. I hear you. I hear you.
Both Meredith and Rebecca and Mary are all trying to watch the physical hand raise as well as
let's take our break if that's okay with. Is your name Brent?
Yeah.
Brent.
Yeah.
Well, it's Marlene, but my husband's iPad.
Got it.
Marlene.
Let's go to her first after break, if possible, Pat.
Thank you.
Because she's been waiting patiently, I think.
Yes. Okay. That's
all right.
3:05, friends.
Sounds good. See you soon.
And now she's Marlene.
Yeah, I was confused.
Thank you for changing that.
Yeah, we're good.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
This is why we have a team behind us watching. So we hopefully don't miss anyone. And I have not watched the chat at all, so I'm going to look right now.
Yeah, Brenda.
You'll find a few messages.
Yeah, Brenda had said she didn't see your entry on the product. That's the major message that is there.
Okay. Oof.
Exit.
Here's something for you, Pat. Jane is asking if you can explain the spinal surgery.
Oh dear.
And I think James just left.
Oh dear. Glenn, I'll be talking about your past webinars as well at the wrap up, and just jump in.
One of the interesting upcoming webinars, which I'll mention, I can mention it now, is we're having Dr. Hoke on October 22nd. That's going to be part of the October initiative.
Yes. Okay.
And I actually asked him to talk about the stuff that the Merkin Center is doing to sort of distinguish it from the usual clinical discussions we're having.
Yes. Okay, good. Aha, she was right. I never hit the send button for the NeuroGo.
There you go.
That's why it's not there.
Yeah, what James was talking about did not sound like a presentation of diabetic neuropathy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Unilaterality often implies either nerve compression or an autoimmune ANA type of presentation.
Uh-huh. Hey, I have a question. You know, when you said that my daughter should do oh my gosh, the other testing that now I'm going to blank on.
Well, it's the same thing. It's the autoimmune anti-nuclear antibody and variants testing.
I looked it up and it said it was looking for things like lupus. I mean, I don't know.
Yes. let them eliminate all that stuff, because some of those diseases have very protein presentations, and they can have central as well as peripheral nervous system symptoms.
Okay, that helps clarify it. I meant to write back to you, and I figured I would talk to you at some point today.
Yeah.
All right, good. Let's see. So we'll come back in a couple of minutes, and Marlene will talk. I have to move. Oh gosh.
I know. I've been doing the dance here too at the standing desk.
Yes, I should have been sooner, but that's all right. I'm going to do it right now.
Maybe true.
Ooh, I see figures moving in Mary's house through the doorway. Mysterious figures that aren't Mary.
Procedures is the name for surgery nowadays.
There we go.
Okay, are we almost back? Meredith is still somewhere off. Oh, there she is.
Well, I'm just answering this last message. Let's see. I hope that Melissa comes back on.
Yeah, Melissa was just here.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Mike's coming back in.
Mm-hmm.
Melissa's here, but she's muted again.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to, after Marlene has her chance, I just want to say something more uplifting, I hope, to Melissa.
She says, I am here.
Good.
She exists.
Yay, yay. All right, my friends, it's 3:05, and if Marlene is back and ready, we'd like to hear from her.
Okay, thank you. I have two things. Number one, I saw a new neurologist about a month ago. He wants to repeat the EMG studies, the nerve conduction studies. I've had 3 of them already. I want to know how many I need to get, because they're not the most pleasant thing in the world to get, you know. And the other thing is, for my feet, has anyone ever heard of or used Qutenza, that treatment? Those 2 things. I would like some feedback on that. About
anybody
number of
here
EMG studies and the Qutenza.
Well, I'll tell you 2 things real quick, Marlene. Unfortunately, every neurologist on the planet with a neuromuscular background thinks that only he or she can do a proper nerve conduction study. So
Yes.
that's not unusual. I don't know if anybody here has used Cadenza. That's the capsaicin 5% solution. I know a couple of people in some of the WNA groups have tried it, and it's very much a your mileage may vary situation. Some people said they got some relief with it, but other people said that it just made their feet burn worse.
I can't even imagine putting it on mine, but that's
Well, I
personal.
haven't made up my mind. I just haven't heard any great things about it. That's why I was,
Does
haven't done it
anyone
yet.
else have a comment? Have they tried any of the capsaicin
Mary.
products? Very?
Yeah, Mary, unmute.
Mary
Right.
Erdman.
Got
has
it. Okay.
opened it.
So the EMG thing, it sounds like, unfortunately, overkill. Let me just quickly share my experience with that. I had my first EMG back in 2009, which finally diagnosed my neuropathy, which is great. Okay. Then a year ago, I was seeing a rheumatologist. I'm actually still seeing her. And for some reason, she wanted an EMG. I don't know why, but that's what she wanted. And she got me in really fast, which was kind of difficult. So I went to UW Hospital and had another EMG, and the same doctor I had in 2009, which was hilarious because he has a very thick accent and I'm hearing impaired. And even with my hearing aids in, I could barely understand him. Well, then I went back and I saw my primary care doctor who just recently now retired. And she said to me, I saw you had another EMG. I want you to know you never have to do that again. So the common sense of my primary care doctor who knew me for 20 plus years overrode what all these other specialists were saying. I don't think it gave any new information. I think one and done diagnostic tool. It's very unpleasant. And so, Marlene, I think it's okay to say no, thank you, or definitely question why. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're already in pain, so why do we want to torture ourselves again? And I wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Marlene, have you, of course, shared your imaging, your previous results in imaging that you've had with other neurologists?
I did bring it to him, actually, yes.
You did or
He
did not?
insisted on doing not only my feet and legs, but also my arms and hands. And I thought, gee, that's a lot. One's bad enough. I don't think I'm going to do it with him. If I do, it would be with my pain management doctor if he decides I need it.
And why did you go to another neurologist?
Because I had nobody to follow up with me. I haven't been to one in a year and a half or two, and I'm getting worse and worse. And nothing I try has helped. The shoes, nothing I've tried is really helping it. So I accept that this is what I have. I have to live with it. But if there's anything new on the horizon, I want to know.
Sure.
Always looking, searching.
I think that's true of all of us and why we meet. Glenn has done for Western Neuropathy Association. They run like 8 groups.
Wow.
And some are focused, as we talked to you about. He will address that when we have the wrap up. But we're all looking for answers, any help, any idea. Now, Judd said, I saw a TV commercial for this drug in connection with, oops, I just lost it.
Jornavax, they call it.
Yeah.
Jornavax.
Yeah. Suzetrigine is the generic.
Yeah.
Suzetrigine?
Yeah.
It was
recently approved by the FDA for acute pain. It is a sodium channel blocker, not unlike lidocaine or xylocaine, but it's the first one in pill form that's been effective.
Yeah, she swears by it now.
We didn't hear that. Say it again, who you're referring to?
Peggy.
Right. They don't know who Peggy is.
Oh, but my wife.
And she's just recovering from knee replacement.
Yes.
She has found this, and you want to put it in the chat. Oh, there you got it. Thank you. And I also have just suggested it to my brother who had shoulder replacement to at least investigate it, because after they take you off the opioids and you're just sort of left 2 weeks after the surgery, still in pain, is there anything else we can should be trying? And so, again, you might make note of it and look into it, research a little bit, remembering to try to go to legitimate places like Mayo or Cleveland Clinic when you're looking for information, not just Googling the drug, so that you know it has some legitimacy. And I wanted to, as I said, get back to Melissa, because I felt like we sort of left you hanging there, Melissa, and I certainly didn't mean to.
Pat, we've got two other people with their hands up, Meredith and Jan.
Okay. All right. We'll hold in case Meredith or Jan has an answer for Marlene, and then we'll go back to Melissa. Okay, Meredith?
That's what I wanted to follow up with Marlene, is just to say that for me, if you've had 2 or 3 tests, I guess the first thing I'd want to know is what the tests look like themselves. Like, it's like I would be looking to see, is there consistency or whatever there? And I know it's really tough to find a neurologist that you can trust, and I'm kind of in limbo again, but looking a little bit, mostly because it's just too far away and hard for me to do, and I don't see that much difference. But that's I just pretty much wanted to echo both what Pat and Mary were saying. I what Glenn suggested is that each person seems to think they're the ones that can do it. I've been very fortunate because I've only had a couple, and I've had people that really knew how to administer too. But I don't feel like I need to be a pincushion for everybody, So, yeah. All right, that's it for me.
Okay, and I didn't hear the second person. Rebecca, who did you say had their hand up?
Jan G.
Jan.
Jan, and her last name starts with a G, apparently.
Okay.
So unmute, Jan.
Hi, do you hear me?
Yes.
I'm horrible at Zoom. So many years ago, I was using Icy Hot for a while, and then my toes looked funny, and I realized they were like peeling, but big, hard peels. And I stopped using it, and it has capsicum in it, I believe. So that was my only experience with capsicum, which was it's an over-the-counter product. But very recently, I'm off. This is not capsicum, but it was suggested that I try ketamine, amitriptyline, lidocaine topical, and I used that for a while. And right now, I have stopped using it, and it's really scary. What I have is, I guess, a rash, a bad rash on where I used it. So I have crazy sensitive skin. So I don't know if that would happen to other people, but I heard the question if anybody had any experience with capsicum. I won't try capsicum again. I will mention, since I'm on here, for the last 3 days, I decided it might be helpful to rinse my feet in warm water right before bed to try to help the rash, and then maybe put some grease on it because it's dry. But what I'm thinking is, for 3 days, my neuropathy pain has not amped up as high when I'm sleeping. And I've had a lot of things that I thought were helping, and then that balloon burst. But I'm hoping that it's to me, it's trouble to have to soak your feet in addition to everything else I have to do every night. But if it makes this much difference, it's worth it. Yes.
Jan, could I ask a question, please? I use lidocaine cream, Voltaren. You buy it just in the grocery store. Have you ever tried that?
Is Voltaren, I thought, was aspirin, not lidocaine, or is it both? I don't.
Voltaren is a cream that I'll go get it and bring it back and show you. It does help. It's got lidocaine in it, about 4%.
Thanks for the suggestion, but a long time ago, I tried it on my feet. It didn't work. I tried it on my arthritic knees, and it didn't seem to do much. My cousin had told me it was wonderful for her, and I have it. It's right here. And I was thinking of trying it again. Also, I feel like I have to ask my doctor because I've been told to stay away from NSAIDs. And my cousin, I think, told me that because it had the aspirin in it, there's some concern. I don't know if there really is. I probably could try it again. I've had so many things on me, and especially now that I've had this horrible reaction from the ketamine, which they started with 5% because I told them how sensitive I was. They really wanted 10. I was about to go up to 10 when I got this really scary rash. Um, so now I'm afraid to put anything on. I've already been afraid to take anything orally because of all my reactions. Now I'm even afraid to put things on.
Jan, I'm sorry, not Jane. Who has been prescribing the ketamine and the other things that you've been trying? A podiatrist or whom?
Let's see, who recommend? Oh, well, I'm getting something from a compounding pharmacy, something else. So I asked them. They were recommended by my doctor, but and I asked them if they had anything to help neuropathy, and they said they have a lot of success with this ketamine combination. And so I had my doctor write a prescription and got it from the compounding pharmacy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But they said they had a lot of success. Now, of course, I'd like to think of them as not just salesmen. I'd like to think that that's the truth. But what I've learned is lately, I'm 86, and I think you get more I've gotten more sensitive, I think, as I've gotten older. I always was, but maybe it's gotten worse.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't seem to matter to me when doctors say most people tolerate this well. I'm the one. That's what it feels like. It's happened so many times.
Yeah. Do you happen to see a dermatologist by any?
Well, I have a dermatologist, but I'm essentially homebound. I'm in so much pain and so incapacitated that going out is not only torture, but scary. I mean, I could fall. If I had to go to the bathroom, I don't know what I do. So I start worrying about it like a month in advance because I do go to the dentist to get my teeth checked and cleaned. And each time I wonder if I'll make it the next time. There are steps to walk coming back into the house, 5 of them, which is, I always hope I'll make it up them. So I thought of calling the dermatologist about because I'm scared about this rash on my feet. My son, who's a little more knowledgeable and less catastrophic thinking than I am, thinks it will probably be okay. But I was a little scared, and I thought of calling them. But then if they tell me, what if they say go to an emergency room or come in or something? Then I haven't followed their instructions,
And where are you located, Jan?
I live near Philadelphia in Lafayette Hill, PA.
Okay. We had a group here that we actually had speak to us called Neighbor Force. We have another one called Caregivers and another one, Seniors Helping Seniors, all of whom offer rides for medical appointments. But the nice thing about it is, unlike Uber, where people have had issues, these people can consistently come, so you always know that they know your situation. They come prepared if you're using a walker or some other mobility device. But I'm not sure if they're a franchise and if they'd be in the Philadelphia area.
What are the 3 of them? Neighbor Force, Seniors Helping Seniors, and what's the other one?
And Justin, can you remember the official name of it? We can
Home
put
Watch Caregivers.
What? Say it again, please.
Home Watch Caregivers.
Can you put it in the chat?
Oh yeah, sure.
Please.
I would say also they're much. I use Home Watch Caregivers, and they provide transportation. And if you book early enough, they'll try to get the same person, for you. And then they offer other services like I'll book them for 2 hours, for example, for let's say a doctor's appointment, and then they come back to your home and they can do cleanup or water the flowers or little light housekeeping and chores. They'll even go to the drugstore for you. So it's pretty handy.
Is there a charge per hour? And
oh yeah.
What is it?
It's not cheap, but anywhere from about $40 to $90 an hour.
One of them quoted $35 an hour. I think it might have been Seniors Helping Seniors. That's a group that are basically retirees who found that they had extra time in their hands and wanted to get a little extra income. So they started this organization, and people have liked it because they consistently get the same person. There's no contract. You don't have to do it X times a month or 6 months or a year. And so I will look that up and put it in the chat. And Brenda Cheadle, you're saying here in Northern Virginia, we also have the Lamb Center who offers drivers. And that, I think, is that a church affiliation, Brenda? The Lamb Center? I don't know. Anyway.
I volunteer at the Lamb Center sometimes. It's
Okay.
a place where homeless people can go, they can take a shower, they can have their laundry done, they can get something to eat, and they do counsel them as far as trying to get a place to live and a job. So, yeah.
Now,
Okay.
the one thing that I have going for me is that my son takes care of me and my husband. We're both not doing well. So he pretty much has driven us. So that's been okay. The thing I have against me is that I can't even get into somebody else's car. I don't know what I'd do if we couldn't hold on to the particular car we have because it's roomy enough and high enough for me to get into it. It's always a challenge getting into the car. Sitting in the car is painful. It's just everything is a terrible challenge. And here I am with no pain medication, really. I take Tylenol and what's the other thing? CBD pills sometimes, which help. I take them because I think maybe they're helping a little, and maybe they're not. I don't even know. The naproxen actually seemed to give me a little bit of relief, and I was told stay away from it. So I'm sorry, I'm going on and on and on. If you stick with me, I could spend the whole day just expanding to my new problems.
Okay, Pat.
Yes.
Pat, I know you wanted to go back to Marlene. We've got Mike S. with his hand up, Jane with her hand up, and Brenda Cheadle just put her hand up.
Okay, I am putting neighborforce.com in the chat, noting that it's NABOR Force, FORCE, and it does say that it's a national organization, and it provides companionship, household assistance, errands and appointments, and technology help.
This sounds really like a possibility, that one of these things, because we've had caretakers, and I find myself so unable to find things for them to do. They're so limited in what they're willing to do that we don't need a companion to pay the money to sit here and chat with us. So maybe one of these groups would be more flexible.
Says NeighborForce is on-demand platform that connects older adults with trusted local neighbors for companionship and everyday assistance, promoting independent living. So I'm not, again, selling them. I'm just saying that this is an option.
It's worth looking into.
And they are vetted and have security clearances and such. And then the other one I'm trying to remember, Seniors Helping Seniors. We'll move to who did you say, Rebecca, please?
Mike S. has had his hand up for quite a long while.
Okay, Mike, would you like to join in?
Sure, thanks. This may be a Glenn question, but I've got my first real meeting with a neurologist in 3 weeks, and I started, and I think I heard the conversation a little bit earlier about a rheumatologist, and I Googled that real quick, and one of the things they can do is help with an autoimmune disease, which sometimes do cause peripheral neuropathy from what I read. So I'm just thinking either A, I talk to my general practitioner, my doctor, and say, hey, should I go ahead and see an autoimmune or a rheumatologist also to rule that in or rule that out? Or do I wait till my neurology appointment and ask them? Or do I talk to both of those folks and say, what point do I worry about seeing a rheumatologist to rule out peripheral neuropathy that might be caused by an autoimmune disorder?
You could probably talk to either Mike or both. The testing that would be involved to investigate those potential causes of neuropathy could be ordered by either, and in fact could even be ordered by a primary care physician.
Please make sure you're muted. We're hearing background noise from someone. Thank you.
Ryan Brooks, yeah, mute.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so Mike, as far as that goes, definitely with a neurologist who specializes in neuropathy, a neuromuscular specialist, often they will order those tests on their own because there are a number of different types of neuropathies that have autoimmune origins, both the ones that people in rheumatology deal with and others that neurologists tend to deal with.
Okay.
So there's no reason they couldn't order that whole battery of tests.
Got it. Thank you. I think the only thing I was going to add was that I have up days and down days, and I only mention that because I think all of us have up days and down days, and maybe we know people who are having up and down days. But I think one of the things I've started to learn the hard way is that you got to be your own strongest advocate.
Amen.
And you bump into stuff like in Tucson, there was a 1 year wait just to get in to see a neurologist. So I just started calling around to other areas, and I found in Phoenix there's a neurology institute that got me in to see my first test in 5 weeks. So I think, and my doctor, I found out, has got about 3,800 patients. He's not always available, but I think you just kind of have to learn to be scrappy, pushy, polite, but fairly relentless in finding answers, finding out who to ask questions to. Support groups like this are a great resource, but don't wait and don't give up.
Mike, could I make a suggestion? Our guy that's not here today, Bill, he keeps telling us to keep a diary. Write down what we eat that day, what we do that day, and if you're in pain or less pain, and you can kind of figure out maybe what's causing it a little bit.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thanks,
everybody.
I'd like to follow up on seniors helping seniors. I did look as we were talking, and there is a group in Northwest Philadelphia, and I can put that in. But more importantly, seniorshelpingseniors.com has a location option, so you can find if there's any in your area. The only thought that I had is some of these will not do medical care. They will not do like wound care after surgery and such. These are more assistance, housekeeping, companionship, that kind of issue. So neighborsforce.com and seniorshelpingseniors.com.
Thank you. I'll try to contact them.
Okay. All right. So Rebecca or Mary, who is next, please?
Jane.
Yes, hi. I would like for somebody to explain to me what this spinal surgery is all about. Has anybody tried it? Is it successful? Is it very invasive?
Wow. I know that I spoke initially about my situation using Dr. Cherik as the connection there. Dr. Cherik and I sort of parted ways because he was recommending surgery and I wasn't ready to do that or even to hear it. So I suffered for a couple more years before I did not go back to Dr. Cherik. But after more injections and such, I actually then found a surgeon who was not the one that some people say, oh, if he's a surgeon, all he wants to do is cut. I found him at Georgetown and he was very reasonable. And he showed me the MRI. Very few doctors will take the time to pull up the image and say, here's where the problem is. It's at L5, L7, or wherever it was. And this is what I'm proposing to do. Now, he did the first surgery in 22 or 23. And then I had to have additional surgery in 25 because a cyst developed. And I laughed and I said to him, now, I'm not going to see you in 27, am I? And he said, no, this should resolve it. And he did have to build a cage, but I woke up in the recovery room without pain for the first time in 9 months. And I mean, I cried. It was like, oh my gosh, it's this immediate relief. Why didn't I do it sooner? I am not saying everyone is a candidate for surgery. And my and I have talked about this, there has to be a physical manifestation. There has to be a reason. And my reason was the cyst that had developed. It had to be removed, and the only way to do it was surgically, of course. But I had tried pain management. I had done injections. I had done physical therapy where I left in tears every time I did it and thought, why am I doing this? And then I finally did find the resolution. But again, for me, it seems you have to find the surgeon that you connect with, someone who will listen to you, someone who actually responds to your questions. One of the biggest problems that people say about neurologist appointments is that they basically say, yes, you have idiopathic peripheral neuropathy, which means we don't know the cause and there is no treatment or cure for it. And here's some gabapentin to relieve the symptoms. And of course, you're not resolving the root problem. I'm not saying you should go to a surgeon, but I would still have a consultation with an open mind. When I went to a neuromuscular neurologist, he said that he would trust my surgeon to operate on his wife or daughter. And that was enough of a recommendation for me to pursue it. But it took me about 3 years before I decided to do the surgery. And as I said, it's not corrected my PN. It just corrected the sciatica and the intense pain I was in. Glenn, you might want to
Well, I was going to say about this because Marianne put a comment in the chat too. Remember, we're talking about two very different types of surgery here. In Pat's case, there was a smoking gun. There was MRI evidence of compression along a nerve tract that could be resolved with surgery. There are other people who are looking to get surgery for a spinal implant to help relieve pain, and that's a very different type of surgery. In other words, in those cases, and it is fairly invasive, although they usually do a trial run to see if it might be effective, they're actually implanting into you both a power pack and wire leads to provide that TENS-like interference with certain nerve tracts to help relieve the pain. So you have to remember, if you're talking surgery, this is two very, very different scenarios.
Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you might have been talking about the spinal cord stimulator implant. I thought you meant my sciatica issues. So, but thank you for differentiating that, Glenn.
Can I jump?
Please, Mike.
Yeah, I just want to emphasize that Pat went at this very, very carefully. She had, and in her case and in other people that I've known, there are circumstances under which back surgery can really help. But typically, people get a report from an MRI that says, oh my God, there's a bulge, and you must have surgery to get rid of this bulge. And the long-term consequences of fusion and things like that, generally speaking, are very, very low success rates. I'm just talking about nationwide, worldwide. There is a tendency on the part of doctors who read MRIs and X-rays to say, oh, there's something abnormal. But worldwide, they have found that lots and lots of people have exactly that same kind of abnormality and do not have problems with pain. My wife has a fairly serious abnormality that means that when she it does a lot of things involving her back, it starts to hurt. And over time, she learned to just lie down and let it rest a while, and then she's okay. She's learned that relatively recently, actually, but she turned down the surgery 40 years ago when this problem first appeared, and the problem is still there. It's just that it's survivable. What Pat described was a very, very careful process of evaluation because there are cases like Pat. And I know one other person who had a similar, not the same thing, but had a situation that really did need surgery and it benefited that person. But generally speaking, that's not the case. Or just, oh, you've got a bulge on your spine.
I think Glenn just put it very succinctly. He says that, and I got to read it. Disc herniation, bulges, arthritic bone spur, overgrowth, and joint hypertrophy are so common in older people as to be almost ubiquitous. The question always is, are these causing symptoms? What kind? What intensity? And then Phil, would you like to respond to Mike?
I just want to say I'm 100% with what Mike said. I know that I had sciatica too. I was lucky through certain kinds of exercises. I've really gotten rid of it, but it was kind of mild. But I've talked to a number of surgeons, and I know that lumbar is the most problematic surgery because it's lower down and it's your lumbar spine has more weight on it. The other kinds are less risky. So I'm glad to hear that Pat's was successful because I know several people who were not successful with lumbar surgery, and it's nice to know that it does work in some cases.
Thank you for sharing that, Phil. Jane, I should stop and ask you, were you talking about lumbar surgery or were you asking about a spinal cord implant?
No, I was asking about the implant, the spinal cord implant.
We spent all that time, sorry, on the wrong question. Does anyone have a suggestion or comment about the spinal cord implant for Jane?
It's very catch as catch can, and generally they will do a trial before they do the surgery to see if it has the possibility of helping. At some of the WNA groups, we've had a couple of people who've gone through it, and it seems to be no better than like a flip of the coin as to whether it actually helps a lot.
Okay, thank you very much.
And Glenn, I've heard that often the trial is positive. They feel some relief. They go through with the surgery and then end up having it taken out because 6 months later, it was sort of like, okay, there was an immediate response, but it wasn't consistent or it didn't really end up helping. And I can't imagine, I don't know how involved the surgery is, but I can't imagine having it taken out. Do you know any statistics or anything that Jane could?
Around maybe a quarter have had to do the revision. The problem with it is that even with arthroscopic techniques, which does help the healing, obviously, it's very difficult and very much an art to actually find the pain generating areas of the nerve. Because especially since in the lumbar spine, you have the lumbosacral plexus, which feeds the sciatic nerve, but there are fibers from 5 different nerve roots that pass through there. So depending upon where they put the leads, maybe sometimes you hit the pain generators, which obviously they do imaging to try and find. Maybe sometimes you don't. It's not an easy thing to do.
Wow.
Okay.
Pat, can I remind you that you were going to get back to Melissa? And
Yes.
Brenda Cheadle has her hand up.
Okay. Melissa, I feel badly that we sort of dropped our discussion just after your introduction. Have you heard anything today that you found helpful? Do you have follow-up questions you'd like to ask someone?
Melissa, you're muted, so you have to unmute to talk.
And she's dark.
Oh dear. Did I miss her?
No, I mean, she's still up there, but it's...
She's trying to come back on now.
All right.
Maybe ask Brenda Cheadle what she wanted to say while Melissa's working it.
Okay, that's a good idea. Brenda?
Yes, someone said they were 86. I'm also 86. I've had peripheral neuropathy for at least 15 years. Pat and I saw the same doctor who basically said, it's idiopathic, it's not a whole lot, take gabapentin and goodbye. I had a doctor who told me it was spinal stenosis, was pressing on the nerves, and if I had surgery, that would cure it. I had the surgery. That just gave me more problems. At one time, I was a regular client at an organization called Spine and Pain, getting injections regularly. At one time, I slept with my feet inside a cage so that nothing could touch my feet. At bedtime, uh, all of that is gone. I no longer have pain. So I think you have to know that every case is different and that sometimes there will be, it will eventually just leave you. I still have peripheral neuropathy. I still have very bad balance. Uh, I do take a lot of turmeric, which is a good anti-inflammatory supplement. I do take gabapentin every night, would not risk not taking it because the pain might come back. Uh, One thing that no one has mentioned is that my a foot doctor told me that he wished I had paid more attention to the fact that my toes were curling on my right foot. What sometimes happens with long-term peripheral neuropathy is that the toes begin to curl. If you catch that at the very beginning, there are little supports that can go under the toe with a little elastic band to help keep the toes straightened. Unfortunately, I didn't know that that was an option or that this was a problem because it's just my right foot. The toes are very curled, they stick up. It's difficult to find. It's difficult to find shoes that
I'm
do not
almost done.
that do not rub. So if you have had long-term peripheral neuropathy, do take a look and be sure that your toes are not curling so you can catch it before it gets to be a problem. But meanwhile, I no longer have to worry about bed covers on my feet. That doesn't bother me at all. Uh, I do use a walker, a new walker from Denmark, uh, from a company called By Acre, ACRE, which is very lightweight and folds up very easily. I'm a widow now, so I have to uh, do these things for myself. Just to get to my mailbox, I have to use the walker to get out there. But I basically am living pain-free after having had great pain at one time. So I just wanted to be maybe a ray of light at the end of the tunnel that this situation that you're living in right now may not always be that situation. And I hope that you have some of the results that I have had with time.
Thank you, Brenda, so much. I just wanted to ask you, just to recap here, you feel that a lot of the loss of pain is maybe a combination of turmeric and gabapentin and thyme, and I just wondered if you had, and the single most important thing almost to me all day is you saying that each case is very different. Yeah.
Brenda,
I just wondered if she might have ideas of what was making it better, the pain.
Glenn probably is the expert on so many of these answers, but with neuropathy, it means the nerves are dying at the end, and perhaps at some point, it's the pain in my feet is no longer there because those nerves are dead, and therefore they're not transmitting anything. But I would never not take my gabapentin at bedtime, and I take turmeric along with my vitamin pills throughout the day because it's an anti-inflammatory. But really, I usually find Glenn has the best medical explanations for so many things.
That's correct.
And Mike, go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Brenda, you've been a caregiver for so long. I just wanted to say, as someone who's spending a lot of time doing that now, I just want you to know I'm sorry to hear about your loss.
Thank you.
You're muted.
Thank you. I wanted you to know that we were actually very blessed because my husband's cancer had spread to the liver, and I have had friends tell me that that can be a very painful way to die. But we had hospice care, and my husband died without pain, holding my hand, listening to his favorite music. And we were very blessed by his passing. We had 68 years together. I met him when I was 17. So we both considered that we had had a very blessed life, and we know that it all has to end. But thank you.
Thank you for that, sharing that personal experience, both Mike and Brenda, as we all face similar situations coming, I guess, eventually. Melissa, you will have the last word because usually about 10 till we wrap up with some announcements and things. Melissa, would you like to finally have a chance to respond?
Melissa's muted still and blacked out, so she might not be there.
Something's going on over there on the screen, though.
She's trying. I think she's trying to get the picture, and she.
Let's give her a minute and see.
Yeah. If nothing else, Melissa, just unmute if you can, because we can still hear you even if we can't see you.
Okay, maybe not. Anybody else want to say something real quick before we leave?
Really quick, somebody had mentioned hypnosis, and I'm going to look up for our next monthly meeting through the UW pain clinic. I have been taking regular groups, and just before the pandemic, we did a whole series of different types of meditation, and one of them included hypnosis for treating chronic pain. And there's nothing tricky or hocus pocus about it. I have a whole packet of information. I'll look that up. And you don't need another person to be doing the hypnosis with you. You can do it yourself. So I remember somebody bringing that up, and I'll see what I can find out.
My wife benefited for many years from self-hypnosis. It was amazing what she could do once she was taught how to do it herself.
Well, excellent references. Thank you, Mary, for agreeing to look that up. And if we find it before the September meeting, perhaps we can put it on the website for those of you who ask the question or want more information about the whole notion of self-hypnosis. All right, my friends, it is 10 till, and we have a few things to cover. If Judd, would you please bring up the wrap-up slides?
Is Betty Ann trying to say something? No? Maybe not.
No.
I think Judd's trying to pull up and share the wrap-up slides. All right.
Judd, you're muted. You're muted, Judd. You got to unmute.
Let me see if I can find it.
There you go.
Yeah, all right. If you can go to the first slide, please, the prior slide. All right, I think this is it. Yes, thank you. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and read everything, but I do want to alert you to some of the events that are happening and things that we have alluded to that you might want to take a picture of this to remember times and dates and such as that. This group, the Virginia DC PN Support Group, will meet on September 12th. Now, note, that is a date change. It's the second Saturday because of Labor Day, the first Saturday. Now, we realize that Western Neuropathy Association also has a support group that day, and that some of our friends go to both. So unfortunately, you will have to make a choice that day and or attend one of the other, either the Bethesda Chevy Chase meeting or another Western Neuropathy Association meeting that Glenn will talk about in a minute. So it will be on September 12th. And it will be, of course, an invitation sent and a reminder. The Bethesda Chevy Chase Maryland group's next meeting is August 20th at 7 o'clock. It is also an open discussion group. If you are new, you go to events.suburbanhospital.org to register. And once you're added to the mailing list, you automatically get invited every month. You only have to do it once. The Western Neuropathy Association has both general and topic-focused peripheral neuropathy meetings, and the best way to find out all of those many days and times are going to pnhelp.org. And they also, when you go to their website, and Glenn's going to speak more, you will learn of upcoming webinars. Glenn, would you like to add something there?
Yeah, I'll talk about a couple of things. By the way, Pat, since I suspected you guys are going to move that September meeting, I will make a motion to the board of directors to maybe move the time that day. So we may be able to have like 4 hours worth of consecutive back-to-back meetings.
Oh, thank you.
Because yeah, I understand why, Labor Day is Labor Day. A couple of things that are happening. Yes, we have normally now 8 different online support groups each month at WNA. There are 5 specialized ones. There are 3 general ones. One of them you've already heard happens on the second Saturday. We also have them on the 3rd Wednesday of the month and the 4th Saturday of the month. Those are the general meetings. This coming August 8th, which will be 1 week from now, we're actually going to have a special little pre-presentation before our support group meeting, in which we're going to actually have, and I want to make sure that I get the name right, Dr. Gregory Brusola, another Gregory, from the University of Texas at Galveston, who is looking for participants for his clinical trial using walkasins. I don't know if you guys know what walkasins are. They're a sort of combination moccasin orthotic device to help neuropathy patients with getting feeling back in their feet by shifting some of the burden a little bit up on the leg. And they're doing a clinical trial now to see just how good the effects might be. We can actually give you a link for it, and I can actually put that into the chat. Oh, the puppies are here.
Sorry.
And no, it's okay. I always like to see the puppies and the kitties. So I'll put that into the chat right now so you can actually see what's going on with that. And he's going to come on at 1 p.m. Normally, those groups on the second Saturday start at 2 p.m. Eastern. He's going to come on at 1 p.m. and talk about the clinical trial and the criteria, because obviously they're hoping to grab some people to get involved in the trial. And they're holding it in many different locations in the country. So you don't have to feel like, oh, if you're not in Texas, you can't do it. They're also going to be doing some stuff in, I believe, St. Paul, Minnesota. They're going to be doing some stuff in Amherst, New York, which is a suburb of Buffalo, and a couple of other locations as well. So you may be able to think about that. And while I'm on the topic of that, before we talk a little bit more, we've also gotten a notification from the people at CGT Global, which is a clearinghouse for various types of medical research, that they have a blood draw survey that they're doing for people who suffer from painful diabetic neuropathy. And of course, they contacted us, and I could definitely link you guys to that as well. So beyond that, we do webinars normally the 4th Thursday of each month. I'm not exactly sure what the webinar is going to be this month yet, because they haven't actually set it in stone. I can tell you that the September one is going to involve the walkasins trials, a little bit more detail, and that in October, as part of our October initiative, we're going to have Dr. Ahmed Hope from the Merkin Center at Johns Hopkins to come in and talk about what's going on there. Again, as Pat said, the easiest way to look at all this is to look at our calendar at pnhelp.org, because a lot of different things are going on simultaneously.
Thank you. All right, could we go to wrap up slide 2? There we go. These are basically some webinars, both upcoming and past, that you might want to know about. The Foundation for Peripheral Neuropathy is hosting a webinar on August 12th at 11:30 to 12:45 CST. Remember, you need to adjust your time zone. Anyway, the focus is steady on your feet, preventing falls through mindfulness and daily practices. And you can register at www.foundationforpn/events if you are interested in a fall prevention webinar hosted by FPN. Past webinars we like to alert you to because they are recorded and worth your time if the topic is of interest to you. Two of them are FPN webinar on idiopathic neuropathy, recent advances in understanding. This was delivered in May of 26. You can you can copy and paste or go to, again, Foundation for PN and past webinars, and we will also show you PN Unplugged, Stories, Strategies, and Support was shown on May 7th, 2026. You might have missed it. These, as I understand it, are more personal stories of people's journey, how they've managed their strategies that they've tried, and some of the results. So that's another one. And if you'll move to the final slide. Again, FPN had one that I totally missed. Beyond the Uniform, Navigating PN as a Veteran. It was July 21st on 2026. So if you have any veteran experience and wonder what options are available to you or what perhaps medical treatments or whatever that they might be offering or care, please look at that one. And the last one I wanted to mention that I really, really enjoyed and learned from was New Developments in Diabetic Neuropathy that was hosted by Western Neuropathy Association on 6/26. Now, as I understand it, you can go to YouTube and search Western Neuropathy Association for all of their past recorded webinars. But if you remember, Glenn said it's easier if you go to pnhelp.org, their website, and get a direct link. You don't have to go through the machinations of YouTube and hoping you find it. So those are just some of the ones that we wanted you to know about that have happened recently that would have current information you might want to address. Final two notes are that our annual meeting that's required as a 501c3 organization, a nonprofit, will be held on 9/24/26 at 9 a.m. That's a Thursday morning, ET. And we are asking in our exit survey, beyond the usual question of what did you learn today and what topics would you like to see addressed further, the last question is asking if there are any concerns, issues, or questions you would like to see addressed at the annual meeting. And everyone will receive an invitation to the annual meeting. Members are, of course, invited, and we will also send a reminder. So we do ask that you take 5 minutes, 2 minutes to answer the exit survey, because it really helps guide us knowing what to put on the website, what topics are of burning interest, and what we should be pursuing further. So if you will do that, we appreciate that. And now that it is basically 4 o'clock, I want to remind everyone that we do offer overtime. Overtime is, again, not recorded, so it's a more of a social interaction. You feel maybe a little more comfortable sharing information about your situation or whatever, or you can just talk about what your summer vacation plans are, whatever meets your needs at that time. So that will meet after we close here at 4 o'clock, from 4 to 4:30. It will come up automatically, but again, I ask you please to consider taking the few minutes it takes to answer the exit questions. And that, my friends, is the conclusion of today's meeting. Unless someone has something that they really, really, really want to add or ask, of course, we're willing to hear it. All right, sounding good. Remember that we will see you again September 12th. Please, almost all of us know someone with peripheral neuropathy or someone in our age group that might have it and not even realize it. Invite them. Ask them to join us. Ask them to share their situation and their journey, as I call it. And also remind them that there are many support groups. It's not just a Saturday afternoon. If you need a Wednesday or a Thursday evening or an alternate day or time. And quickly, Glenn, will you tell us the specific group names besides chemo-induced? What else are you offering?
Yes, in their order that they appear during the month, the first Wednesday of the month has what we fondly call the singles group. It's not a dating site. It's basically for people who are facing neuropathy alone without a partner or a caregiver. And that happens at 5 p.m. Eastern on the first Wednesday of the month. Then on the second Tuesday of the month, we have a group that's primarily Colorado based because we took it over from a Colorado organization, but people come from all over the place. Meredith is usually there. On the second Wednesday of the month at 5 o'clock Eastern time is my chemo-induced group. And then on the third Wednesday of the month, after the general meeting at 6 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, is the autoimmune CIDP group, which is very technical and talks a lot about IVIG and plasmapheresis and various therapies for that series of neuropathies. And finally, the fourth Wednesday of the month, we have at 12 Eastern Time, because that's when they could actually do it, an autonomic symptoms group, which again can often be a little bit more wide-ranging as that, but it was founded simply because a lot of people were experiencing autonomic symptoms with their neuropathy and really didn't know what to make of them.
Thank you. That helps a lot. And also, if you have a laptop, you may be able to save the chat by right-clicking on it, and it will give you the opportunity, once you've opened it, right-click at the bottom, and you may be able, we haven't been very successful with if you're on a phone, but if you're on a laptop and maybe a tablet, if you open the chat and right-click on the folder at the bottom, the folded down corner, and it will say save to, and I save to my computer, and I just go back and find the chat and redate it so I remember which meeting it's referencing. All right, thank you, my friends, and hope to see
Thanks,
you
Pat.
on September 12th.